and it is a good morning into good afternoon. And a hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the final press conference ahead of, well, a night of history, Saturday's historic legacy event at the Caesars Bluewaters right here in Dubai, as the one and only Jamel defends his WBO super featherweight title against the one, the only Carl Frampton, in what will be the first ever world title fight and the biggest boxing event to have ever taken place, not just here in Dubai, not just in the UAE, but across the entire region. Many more to follow, thanks to this man alongside me. More from Ahmed in just a few moments' time. But it is all brought to us by Ahmed A. Siddiqui for D4G Promotions. It's sponsored by Everlast, Sports Direct and Kinetic. And it's broadcast on ESPN Plus in the USA, on Channel 5 in the United Kingdom and Ireland, ABC, CBN in the Middle East, here in Dubai, TFC over in the Philippines, and of course on IFL TV for the rest of the boxing mad world. Now, before we get on to the top two fights, it's time for us to pay homage and address the undercard portion of the press conference with some of the best and the very best up and coming talent on display right here in Dubai. We've got several title fights for you. We've got unbeaten fighters. We've got talented prospects all competing. So it's certain to be an action-packed evening for everyone. And hopefully you will be with us there via, of course, our broadcast partners and on social media. Talking on social, we are, of course, inviting international media from across the globe to give us their questions. Got any questions for any of the fighters alongside us, or, of course, the organisers? This is your opportunity to get them into us via Zoom and other social media platforms. Get your questions in now. We will put those to the fighters a little later on. And just a quick word of a mention, or it's certainly worth a mention, that each and every one of the fighters you're about to hear from have been PCR tested. They are all competing, as is everyone involved in this event, within an event bubble at the moment. Every single element of COVID protocol is being taken into place and taken into account ahead of Saturday's title fight. So all the COVID protocol being recognised in the lead up to the fights and on fight night itself. As you'll see, the fighters are wearing masks. Only when they are answering questions they have the option of removing those masks or not. We're, of course, social distancing at all points in the build-up to these fights, and we will be continuing to do so in the build-up to fight night itself. So, as with the protocols here in Dubai and worldwide, COVID-19 protocols being recognised by the organisers throughout. With that, we start things off with one of the hot prospects of boxing here in the region. Dubai-based Fahad Al Balushi, who has scored a 3-1 as he takes on Siraj with a record of 2-1. Siraj will, of course, be flying in for the flight for proceedings, but Fahad is with us here today. And Fahad, we're going to start with you, if that is okay. How proud are you, Fahad, to be part of such a momentous card that's taking place in the place that you call home now, the hometown here in Dubai?
I actually don't know how to explain it. It's just amazing. It's such a surreal feeling to be able to be a part of history. Not just at a world title card, but the biggest fight that you can ever see in the Middle East. And I just wanted to say thank you, D4G. Thank you, Ahmed Siddiqui, for giving me this great opportunity. Hopefully I make the country proud.
Tell us a bit about your background in boxing, if you can. Give us a little insight as to how you've got to where you are tonight and what all of us out there can expect on fight night.
Apparently I was a late bloomer. I started at 19, but that didn't really stop me from wanting to achieve what I wanted in boxing. I fell in love with the sport, just kept on going, even when I was abroad. I've been through training camps in Kazakhstan and Uzbekistan, and just wanted to continue going and see what I can do with this career.
Hey, look, best of luck to you on Saturday. It's going to be a big night for you. I know that there's plenty of boxing fans here who will be supporting you, very well supported, so the best of luck to you.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Well done to you, Fahad. Looking forward to that one as well. Okay, let's turn our attention now on to another. And again, if there are any Zoom calls or Zoom questions, do get them in to us. The team down here are monitoring the Zoom boxes at the moment, so we will bring you those questions as and when. But we're going to move on to the next fight. Another talented fighter based right here in Dubai. undefeated Faizan Anwar will be taking on a very significant Russian opponent in Evgeny Yazem. Both the fighters alongside us at the moment. Faizan has a record. He comes into the fight with a record of 5-0, with 4 of those big wins coming by way of knockout. Evgeny, to my left here, competed on no fewer than 22 occasions, taking on some of the biggest and the best up-and-coming fighters from across Europe. So, Evgeny, we're going to start with you, if we may, sir. And we have, of course, got a number of translators on hand to help us out as well. Evgeny, you've fought in Dubai once before in your career, back in 2016, I think it was. Beat an undefeated fighter back then. Does that give you confidence to do it again this weekend?
Евгений, у вас был единственный бой в Дубае с начала вашей карьеры 2016 года. Вот. Когда вы выиграли непобедимого бойца, вот, это придает вам уверенности сделать это еще раз?
Да, конечно, придает, и в этот раз был хороший лагерь, то есть мы готовы на все 100% удивить, как и в прошлый раз. То есть, да, мы изучали Анвара, он хороший, молодой, перспективный боец, но в моей карьере были уже такие проспекты с нулями, там 3-4-0, которых мы проходили, и в этот раз, я думаю, не будет исключений.
Yes, definitely that we did a very good training camp. It boosted my confidence, and of course I had different prospects with the different records, and we are fully prepared for this fight, and we'll give our best, to show what we can.
Сейчас мы приехали точно так же за победой.
We came here only for the win.
Here to win, here to win. Evgeny, all the best with your fight on Saturday. Really appreciate you being with us here as well. So thank you very much indeed for supporting the event. Our thanks to Evgeny. He's taking on Faizan, as we mentioned a little earlier on. Faizan, my friend, many boxers were inactive last year, I think it's fair to say. A lot of people didn't have much time in the ring, but you, on the other hand, were very, very busy. 5 times you competed since making your debut here back in, end of 2019. So it's been a busy lockdown for you, a busy 2020. How happy were you to get so many fights under your belt when others around you were unable to do so?
It's all of, this happened because of my promotion and my management behind me. So that's why I got too many fights. There was still lockdown, most of the fighters, they didn't fight. But still, because of my manager and my promotions, I got fights, and I able to manage to fight more fights.
Listen, really looking forward to your next fight right here in Dubai again. There will be a lot of home support for you, no doubt. Evgeny is the other end of the table. Looking forward to the fight. Any final messages for Evgeny?
We both prepared. I have a full camp for the fight. Let's see what happens. We'll see on Saturday what will happen.
We'll see on Saturday. We'll see it in the ring on Saturday. Again, quick call out for any international Zoom call questions, if you like, for either Evgeny, of course, taking on Faizan in the second fight on the undercard. We've got one question coming through. We do have one question coming through on Zoom. Let us turn our attention to those questions and we will go over to the team now. Yes?
So one question for Nietis. Having been inactive now for 2 years, how has he prepared himself? How did he stay in shape ahead of the fight? And does he have any doubts in continuing his career with the pandemic?
That question is for...
Nietis.
Okay, we haven't introduced Nietes yet, so we'll introduce Nietes in just a few moments' time. We'll do the questions for them in just a little while. So Nietes has been given a heads up already as to what to expect in a few moments with the questions. But before that, looking forward to that fight, of course, Faizan taking on Evgeny on the undercard. Okay, now we move on to the first title fight of the night. And an absolute pleasure to have one of the most highly rated Kazakhstan sensations with us here today and with us here in Dubai. An absolute pleasure to have Tosinbay Kulahmet alongside us. He'll be defending his WBC International Super Welterweight title against a 20-0 opponent, Hiba Rondon. Both men alongside us at the moment. Tosinbay won the belt in just his second professional fight, and now in his third fight takes another huge step up the ladder against Hiba Rondon. So, looking forward to this one. Hiba, can we start with you if that's all right? Welcome to Dubai, first and foremost. Again, we will have translation for the team here. This is going to be your first fight, Hiba, outside of Venezuela. Just tell us how excited you are to be fighting on a big stage with a worldwide audience.
Eber, bienvenido a Dubai. ¿Cómo que estás emocionado de pelear en un escenario mundial? ¿Y cómo que se esperas que se desarrolle la lucha, la pelea?
Primero que nada, darle las gracias a Dios, primordialmente, por darme esta oportunidad. Y sí, estoy muy emocionado y saber que voy a demostrar por qué estoy invicto y por qué soy campeón latinoamericano y dar lo mejor por mí para demostrar al mundo quién soy yo. El Rondón, y bueno, a dar a todo en Dubai, hay guerra en Dubai.
So he's obviously very excited and emotional. He's obviously very excited and emotional about being here and fighting his first international fight. He's obviously very excited to show his skills outside of Venezuela. He's obviously the South American champion, and then he wants to come and show the world stage all of his skills and capabilities.
And just a quick follow-up on that one. I mean, how much do you know, Hiba, about your opponent? Tosinbay is alongside us at the moment. How are you expecting the fight to play out come Saturday night?
¿Cuánto sabes, cuánto conoces de Tosinbay, tu oponente? Y también, ¿cómo que se esperas que se desarrolle la pelea de este sábado? ¿Qué esperas que aconteça?
Sé que es un peleador muy estilista, que es medallista de un mundial. Lógico, no soy de subestimar a nadie. Estamos preparados y estamos positivos para esto. Estamos para el nivel.
Okay. So obviously he's known him and he's been following him, but he's been focusing on his own preparation, on his own development. They believe that they're prepared and they're expecting a positive result.
Great to have you with us, Hiba. Thank you so much indeed, Greta, for being with us here in Dubai. Tosinbay, let's over to you. A warm welcome, Tosinbay, to Dubai. This is your first fight since teaming up with new trainers for you. Jamie Moore and Nigel Travis are over in the beautiful city that is Manchester, England. Talk to us about the camp. Talk to us about the trainers, the camp, and what you've learned from your new trainers. And of course, we've got translation.
Tosinbay, здравствуйте. Это будет ваш первый бой после того, как вы начали работать с Джейми Мур и Нигель Трэвисом в Манчестере, в Англии. Расскажите нам, пожалуйста, больше о вашем тренировочном лагере и как он прошел, и что нового вы для себя открыли.
Да, мы примерно 2 месяца назад пришли в Манчестер, там тренируемся сейчас. Это для меня большой опыт. Тем более сейчас тренируюсь с чемпионом мира, с Карлом Фрамптоном в одном команде. И меня сейчас тренируют очень хорошие тренера, Джейми Мур и вот сумасшедший тренер Нейджел. Ну, все завтра покажем в бою результат.
Let's find out what he said about Jamie there.
So the camp actually went pretty well. We were doing this for 2 months, and then I've been training with the Carl Frampton nearby, so we got a lot of the experience out of it. So under the we got a pretty good training under the Jamie Moore and the Nigel Chavis, and then we will show tomorrow everything what I learned, and we will beat the opponent.
Fighting talk, expecting that as well. You mentioned Carl there and the opportunity to have Carl Frampton in camp, or to be in camp with Carl as well. You've both been training to compete on the same show. Has that been a big influence, a big support for you?
Вы сказали, что вы тренировались вместе с Карлом Фрэмптоном. Вот, так как вы вместе выступаете на этом шоу, это как-то повлияло вот на это? Так как вы тренировались вместе, вы будете выступать вместе на этом шоу, это повлияло? Это повлияет как-то на ваше выступление?
Да, конечно. Вместе тренироваться с таким боксером в мировом уровне для меня дает, как сказать, уверенность. Это большая уверенность для меня. Я очень рада. Я многому научился у Карла. Ему спасибо большое.
Yeah, definitely. To train with the Carl, with the boxer of the world level, it's also boosting my confidence, and it gives me all the power and all the strength and all the experience that I took from him. You know, to show what I'm stand for, like what I can do on this championship, what I can do on this show.
It's great to have you here in Dubai. Thank you so much indeed for being with us. We're looking forward to this one. Two fellas are here within the COVID bubble at the moment, so thank you very much indeed, gentlemen. Any Zoom calls coming through for either of our fighters? Any Zoom questions? If not, we can move on to the next one on the card, and it is a keenly anticipated one. The much anticipated return of, well, a boxing legend, former four-weight world champion. He needs little introduction. Donny Nietes fights for the vacant WBO International Super Flyweight title. Donny has been there and done that. He's won world titles at minimum weight, light flyweight, and super flyweight as well during an extraordinary career. Now returns for the first time since December 2018. He'll take on the hard-hitting Colombian Pablo Carrillo, who has 25 wins to his name so far, 16 of those by KO, is ranked number 8 in the world by the WBA at the moment. Hola, Pablo, let's go to you first if we can. Thank you so much indeed for being with us. How big an opportunity, Pablo, for you is this to potentially get a win over a legend of the game?
Pablo, bienvenido a Dubai. ¿Qué te creas de esta grande oportunidad de luchar y pelear contra una leyenda como Donny Nietes?
Bueno, muy buenas tardes. Contento, muy feliz de esta gran oportunidad de estar aquí en Dubái y de enfrentar a este gran boxeador, un campeón, Donny Nietes. Es un campeón, pero vengo con mucha hambre también porque yo soy también un campeón.
So he's very excited about being here in Dubai and showing off his skills. He's very excited about fighting with such a big champion such as Donny. However, he's also a champion, and he's also very hungry, so he's looking forward to it. Yeah,
I mean, quite rightly so. You mentioned there, I mean, you've shared the ring and gone toe-to-toe with some of the biggest and the best, Yoka, Concepcion, Rodriguez Jr., those big fight experiences, Paulo, have they helped you to prepare for this fight in Dubai?
Anteriormente compartiste el ring con otros varios campeones mundiales como Francisco Rodríguez, Luis Concepción. ¿Tú crees que estas peleas te ayudaron a prepararse para esta pelea hoy?
Claro, sí, tengo la experiencia. Peleé con Luis el Nica Concepción, el Chihuahua Rodríguez, Kazuto Yoka, gran campeón. Tuve la oportunidad de combatir con esos grandes guerreros y tengo la experiencia, tengo la hambre de triunfo y contento y muy motivado de enfrentar a Donny Nietes, que es un buen boxeador, y esa es la idea. La idea mía es siempre enfrentar a los mejores del mundo.
So obviously he's had a lot of experience with previous fighters, previous very big champions in their own rights. He believed that has prepared him not only to prepare for this fight, but to continue to remain motivated, to continue to remain hungry for the next fight, and that's what continues to excite him, to keep challenging himself, to keep chasing different and bigger champions, and to continue fighting.
Champion in your own right, Pablo. You're here in Dubai. Final thoughts for you ahead of Saturday night. Confident going into the Saturday night fight?
¿Estás confiante de la pelea este sábado?
Estoy mentalizado, estoy concentrado con este compromiso y gracias al compañero Nietes, gracias por la oportunidad y estoy seguro que va a ser una guerra va a ser un buen combate. Gracias.
He's first and foremost, he's very grateful for the opportunity to come here. He thanks the sponsors and he thanks the and all of the organizers to be able to be here. And he thinks that it's going to be a very exciting war, and he's prepared to show a good fight for everyone.
Looking forward to Pablo. Gracias. Thank you so much indeed for being with us. Donny, where do we start? Questions coming in already for Donny. First and foremost, welcome back. Finally, the big return we've all been waiting for. How does it feel to be back? First time since 2018.
Hi, Donny. Gaano ka nasisiyahan na sa wakas ay makakabalik ka sa unang pagkakataon mula pa noong 2018?
Siyempre masaya kasi makabalik ako since 2018, makabalik ako ngayon sa first time na laban sa ring. So I'm excited to fight.
So yeah, he said, I'm so happy and excited that finally after 2018, I will be able to go back to the ring and fight.
What have you been doing for the last 2 years, 3 years now, and why, Donny, is this the right time to return?
So, pwede kang magsabi ng mga naging experiences.
Siyempre nung last fight ko 2018, I stopped fight because magbabalik kami ng mag-rematch kami ng countrymen Aston Palikte. So hindi ko gusto na maglaban kami Filipino versus Filipino. So gusto ko mga ibang nationality. So that's why huminto ako ng paglaban. Then after 2 years nag-close ang ALA. So nag-offer yung MTK at saka D4J sa akin. So that's why nagbalik ako ng boxing ulit.
So he said before his last fight, he didn't want to fight his fellow Filipino. Yep. That's why he stopped to fight. But then after 2 years, he said it's the best time to come back with the guidance of MTK. So yeah, he's so excited to be back.
Well, we're excited as well. Last one from me, and then we'll get some from the floor for you, Donny. This man has just been very complimentary about his fight. He's looking forward to it. How much do you know about Paulo? How much do you know about your opponent for Saturday night, and what sort of fight can we expect?
Siyempre I know him because also nakalaban din siya ng mga kalaban ko before like Yuka, Rodriguez. So alam ko yung niya, yung mga fighting style niya. So at saka magandang laban to kasi comeback niya, last fight niya 2018 sa akin, 2019 sa akin 2018. So talagang parehas kaming hungry to fight again.
So I know Pablo, and he's a good guy. He knows how to fight, and it's also his comeback fight, like me. So this is going to be an exciting fight.
It's going to be an exciting fight indeed. Donny, great to have you back. I know for a fact that you're going to have a huge amount of support here in the region for this comeback fight. We've got a couple of questions. Maybe we can just repeat that question, please.
Yeah. Did he have any doubts about continuing his boxing when the pandemic first hit? And what led him to decide that MTK D4G was the best option for him?
So any doubts with regards to COVID-19 and the comeback post-COVID-19? And then the follow-up one is, why is Saturday night the right time? Which I think we've answered already for the international question there. So COVID-19, any concerns, any doubts?
Siyempre, mayroon akong mayroong magandang offer sa akin kasi. So that's why bumalik ako na sa boxing. So kasi gusto ko talaga na makalaban yung mga dream fight ko like Chocolatito, Estrada, and Bisay. So big opportunity na nag-offer yung MTK at saka D4G na ma-negotiate nila na to fight them all. So kaya bumalik ako ng boxing.
So for him, the pandemic and the COVID doesn't hinder his dreams to continue in boxing. And MTK and D4G offered him this opportunity and just want to take it and show the world his skills and fight some of the other fighters like Chocolatito and the other great ones.
Any further questions from the floor? Are there any final questions? If not, no, we are all good. Well, gentlemen, we can't thank you enough. Just before we wrap this element, I just want to give the microphone over to a man who's making this one possible. We're going to hear more from you, Ahmed, in just a little while, but you've been sat very patiently. We're very excited about the main card, equally excited about the undercard. Gives a real indication of the strength of boxing here in the region, but equally the talent of fighters coming to the UAE.
So first of all, good afternoon, everyone. I'm pleased to welcome everyone to the press conference, especially all the fighters flying in from abroad. A lot of hard work has been put into this to bring the world title to Dubai. It's a very big moment for us. It's the first ever world title happening in Dubai. We've been in the past few years working on the smaller shows, and now we're here and very proud. It's an important fight for the country, for the region, to develop the sport on a high level and building the city of Dubai for bigger future events. Unfortunately, with the whole pandemic, we couldn't have the Coca-Cola Arena, which is just next door. You know, the day we were supposed to sign the contract, the rules changed, and we had to do it behind closed doors, actually with very small spectators to be involved. So it's a great fight. It's a great evening.
Well, we can't thank you enough for all your efforts to bring this one to bear. We've got one more fight that we are going to recognise on the undercard. Let's just get confirmation the two fighters are with us here, and then we've got space on. Do you want us to move the guys off the table and bring the other two on, or...? We'll start back at 1 p.m. Okay, roger that. That just remains, we will be back in just a little while to build up to the main card in a few moments' time. So do stick with us right here, wherever you are tuning in from across the globe. Just remains for me to say a big thank you to all of the gentlemen to my right and to my left. Gentlemen, all the best on Saturday evening. Really appreciate all of your support for the sport of boxing here in the region. That concludes the undercard press conference. Back shortly with the main card press conference in a few moments' time. all fighters and coaches for main card press conference. If they can pair up to their respective nameplates, we will be going live to the world shortly. So all fighters in place, we'll just wait for the thumbs up. And as soon as we have our international audience, we'll be underway with the official press conference. So we've got the thumbs up, and it is a warm welcome. Good afternoon from Dubai. Good afternoon from the Liver Hotel at Al Mazaya Centre in the heart of Dubai. Big thanks to all the Liver team for looking after us down here for this official press conference, and of course creating the fighters bubble as well. Welcome back to the final press conference ahead of Saturday's historic legacy event, which will of course be live from Dubai. Fight night itself takes place at Caesars Bluewaters Dubai as the one and only Jamel Herring defends his WBO super featherweight title against none other than Carl Frampton in what will be, I think it's fair to say, the biggest boxing match to ever be staged and take place right here in Dubai and of course across the region. This one is all made possible and brought to you by the man alongside me, Ahmed A. Siddiqui for D4G Promotions. It's sponsored by Everlast Sports Direct and Kinetic. It's broadcast on ESPN Plus over in the United States of America, on Channel 5 in the United Kingdom and Ireland, ABC, CBN across the Middle East and right here in Dubai, TFC to our friends in the Philippines, and on IFL TV for the rest of the world. Talking of the world are viewing and watching in on this press conference this afternoon from various corners of the globe. As you can see, that this entire event has been put together under a COVID protocol, a very strict COVID protocol here in Dubai. All the fighters alongside me for the main card, all the fighters for the undercard have been in a COVID protocol bubble for quite some time now. Regular PCR testing ongoing all the way up to fight night itself this coming Saturday. With that in mind, we are, of course, respecting the social distancing rules here at the Liver Hotel and throughout proceedings. We are asking all the fighters to wear their face masks. However, we will ask them to remove their face masks during the questioning at the press conference as well. Just to reiterate as well that every single COVID-19 protocol, both regional and international, is being respected by the team behind this legacy event. We are going to be presenting the main card portion of our press conference for you in a moment. We've got three incredible title fights to talk about. Boxing fans have been eagerly anticipating. Undefeated Kazakh phenomenon Zhankosh Turarov is back. He takes on Belfast. Always exciting Tyrone McKenna. More on that to follow. We've got WBO Intercontinental Super Lightweight title to talk about. We'll also be previewing Kashon Davis's fight against Richmond Ashley. That one's coming your way shortly. And the big one, the main event, if you like. We have the fight that is going to make history here in Dubai, the fight that's been over a year in the making. as the man to my right here, Jamel Herring, defends his WBO super featherweight title against the man to my left here, Mr. Carl Frampton. Herring is making the third defense of the world title that he superbly and expertly won back in 2019, while Carl is looking to make history by becoming the island of Ireland's first ever three-weight world champion. As I said, it could be a night of history. Before we speak to the fighters personally, let's speak with the man that made it possible. It is an absolute pleasure to welcome to our official main card press conference the man that has created and brought D4G boxing to light, a man who is a real inspiration for boxing here in the region. The biggest boxing event ever held in the Middle East is in no small part down to the man to my left, Mr. Ahmed A. Siddiqui. Ahmed, thank you so much indeed. I've got a couple of questions for you, which I'm going to ask, but maybe just a couple of words of welcome from you in the first place to our international and global audience.
Good afternoon, everyone. Again, would like to welcome everyone to the press conference, welcoming the fighters to the city of Dubai. We're really looking forward for this great evening on Saturday night for the world title event. It's a big night. We've been putting a lot of hard work into this in the past years to reach this level, and it's just the beginning of a lot of more big events coming to Dubai. You know, Dubai is a great city with a lot of different nationalities, more than 200 different nationalities living here, and you see like the undercards from different parts of the world, great fights, and we're looking forward for the champion Jamel Herrings here. Carl Frampton is going to be fighting, as Tom mentioned, for his to win the third world title in a third weight. It's going to be a historical moment if he gets that. And then you have two great Kazakh fighters on the undercards, Kashon Davis, future of USA boxing, Donny Nietes, four-weight champion, the Filipino legend, great big community of Filipinos in the UAE as well, so that's a great thing too. So it's a very strong card, and we're really looking forward to this and for many more other events in the future.
Well, I've got you, Ahmed. We've got a number of questions that have come through, which we will, of course, encourage everyone to send your questions through, be it on social media or, of course, on the Zoom platform at the moment. A big night for all of us here in this room this coming Saturday. Big night for Dubai and for the region as well. Why host this fight night, this historic night, right here in Dubai?
Well, as I mentioned, you know, I've been in the business not for too long, around 10 years, but since I started, you know, a lot of eyes has been in Dubai. A lot of eyes has been in Dubai, you know. They used to call it like the Las Vegas of the Middle East, you know, without the casinos. And we see that now happening here. You know, we have the perfect infrastructure. We have the best hotels, best restaurants, you know. Right now it's the COVID-19 restriction, but, you know, the nightlife is great. The only thing that's been missing is big sporting events. We had last week the horse race World Cup, which is one of the biggest events happening in the country. But me being involved in boxing and you know, being in contact with the big players in the sport, I really see it as now it's the right time to have big boxing events in Dubai, and not just have that as a one-time event, but just keep on maintaining it with you know, smaller shows, bigger shows, just mix it around. And I know the world of boxing sees a good future coming to Dubai and this beautiful sport. So that's the reason. That's the reason. We have everything here available in Dubai.
That sort of leads me on to my next question to you, which was, you know, when you conceptualized D4G promotions, obviously you had in mind nights like Saturday, events like this. Is this a precursor? Can we expect more big fight nights to come to Dubai in the future?
Yes, of course. You know, I haven't been in this business just to have one show and that's it. You know, some different parts in the region are doing big shows just on a yearly basis, maybe one or few years one, but we don't want that to happen in Dubai. We need to keep on maintaining the events happening here and grow the crowd, because the people are still not used to it here. Boxing is coming to Dubai, and slowly we need to gain the fan base in Dubai. As I mentioned earlier, you know, we have 200 different nationalities living and working in Dubai, so that could attract, you know, fighters from all around the world. As I mentioned too, Filipino community is big, and you know, we're building more on the regional fighters, Arab fighters as well. So it's gonna take time, but if we don't do it, then nobody else is gonna do it, because it's just gonna stay as a talk like it has been in the past. But we have been putting the effort, and thanks to God that we are reaching these goals. And of course, we're not gonna allow anything to stop us from going ahead and building the region with great fights coming into here, just like this one. And we're happy to have this fight here. It's a legendary fight with a very strong undercard. It's going to attract worldwide attention in terms of viewership and all that, yes.
You have expertly talked about some of the gentlemen alongside us at the moment. You've previewed a big night as well. One final time, though, for that global audience at the moment that are tuning in going, you know what, I wish I was in Dubai on Saturday night. I want a bit of that. What can our international global audience expect to see this coming Saturday night?
Of course, world-class boxing, you know, legacy, fireworks on that night, all really good cards, good fights. You know, the main event itself, you know, as you mentioned, is 1 year in the making, and a lot of big moments, you know, in this fight card. You know, unfortunately, as I mentioned earlier, you know, we can't have the spectators due to the whole worldwide situation, but the day we were supposed to sign the contract in Coca-Cola Arena, which is the main arena in Dubai, some rules came up, and then we had to do it in a smaller venue. But still, you know, again, as I mentioned, nothing is going to stop us from going ahead and bringing them big fights, and it will be fireworks. Just enjoy the fights, That's it. I can't say nothing more than that.
Listen, you are a true trailblazer for the fight game here in the region. We can't thank you enough for everything, Ahmed, and we look forward to Saturday night. So thank you very much indeed to you and your team. Well, thanks to Ahmed for hosting us down here. Right, let's move on to the fight night itself, shall we? We've got one of boxing's best prospects in action. American prodigy Kashon Davis prepares to have his second professional fight today. Kashon was an incredible amateur and won his professional debut in some style with a big knockout victory on Canelo's undercard in February. Now steps up in competition to face a 10-1 opponent in Rishman Ashley, who has 9 wins out of 10 coming by knockout. Richmond, can we start with you, please? Welcome to Dubai. This will be your first fight outside of Ghana, Richmond. Tell us a little bit about you. Tell us about your career and what you've achieved so far.
Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I'm here to prove myself to Dubai people. I'm not talk much, but I'll prove myself, and I'll prove myself to everybody, every promoter, every manager, everyone who like me to sign. But I'm ready to everyone. I want to prove myself to this boy very, 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 very much. I have nothing to say much. Thank you, everyone.
Well, thank you as well, Richmond. Thank you. Looking forward to your fight come fight night on Saturday. You take on the man alongside me to our right here, Kashon. Welcome to Dubai. Great to have you down with us here in Dubai, Kashon. You got here just over a week ago. You've had a week or so to take in the sights and the sounds, or not, as the case may be, being in your COVID-19 bubble. How have you enjoyed the experience? Kashon, great to have you here in Dubai. Welcome to you and your team. Great to have you here. And again, if there's any questions for either of the fighters, then feel free to get them through to us on Zoom. Otherwise, we will move on to the next of the fights on the card as we build towards the title fight of the night. In fact, we start with the fight between Turarov and McKenna. Certain to be a few fireworks from the very first bell in this one. Tyrone, let's start with you if we can. Again, thanks so much indeed for being with us. You've had a couple of months to prepare for this fight, physically and mentally. How's everything been going in camp in the build-up to this one?
Yeah, camp's been brilliant. I've heard a lot of people around this week saying this is a risky fight for me to take, but I just want to change people's thinking. The prospects come up that they shouldn't be scared to lose their own. I've lost my own, I still get chances and opportunities. You should take risks, because with risk comes a reward. Nothing comes from easy. So go out there, take the hard fights, take the ones that entertain fans, because with fans, that's how you gather your fan base. You take the hard fights, you take the chances. If you get beat, another chance will come. So that's just for the prospects that are rising. They should take the chances. Don't cherry pick. Fans see through cherry picking careers, and they don't like watching them. Don't follow them. That's why I've chose Turarov. I think he's a hard fight, a very hard fight. But I chose him because of that. My fans want to see entertainment. I'm going to bring out on Saturday. I have a solid chin, of balls of steel, and I've got a heart, so I'm ready for war, for anything that Turarov brings.
Jim's in great form at the moment. Jim is winning left, right and centre. We've seen some great results from those in the stable as well. How much does that sort of influence you and your preparation in the build-up to this fight, if the gym itself is in good form?
Our gym's buzzing. Gary Cully, he fought a guy from Kazakhstan 2 weeks ago. He demolished him. I'm going to expect to do the same. We're the Kazakh killers. But Tommy McCarthy, he's the EBU champ at the minute. We'll have titles galore. The gym is buzzing. We're all feeding off each other. Great sparring happening. It's a competition to see who can outdo who in the gym, who's the best in the gym. And that's the way we train, that's the way we're feeding.
Zhankosh has been at the ring for a little while as well. Do you think that's going to influence the fight come Saturday night?
Massively. I think the silent killer in boxing is inactivity. And he's been out of the ring 19 months. Previously, he only had 2 fights, and then he was out of the ring for 2 years. So he's had a lot of inactivity in his career. And I think that really, really shows. I don't think you can emulate the way you feel in a fight. No matter how much sparring you're doing, and no matter how much training you're doing, you can't replicate the way a fight is, the intensity, and you need to be fighting regularly to get that.
We can't wait. I know that your fans can't wait. A big fan base here in the region as well. You'll be flying the flag for them. Final thoughts. Saturday, what can we expect?
War. Born in war. I'm ready for a war.
It's brilliant to have you here, Tyrone. Thank you so much indeed for being with us. What's your opponent as well? Zhankosh, hello. Welcome to Dubai. Thank you so much indeed for being with us. How pleased are you to finally be back in the ring after a little bit of a layoff?
Assalamu alaikum, құрметті журналистар. NTK Global'дың командасы. Мен енді ұзақ уақыт бокстаспасам да, мен әрдайым тренировкам жасап жүрдім. Мен формадамын, әрдайым ешқашан ұзақ уақытқа мен тренировкам тастаған емеспін. Сол үшін мен дайынмын.
First of all, I would like to say assalamu alaikum to the team of MTK Global and Dubai. All this time I was training and I am in the great shape, and it is all.
Let's talk about your opponent if you can, because obviously Tyrone's been talking about you. Did you get an opportunity to see Tyrone in the golden contract? And if so, what did you make of his performances?
Golden contract, мүмкіншіліктерінен қандай жақсылықтарды көрдің, қазір қалай оны аласың? Ну, то, что ты не участвовал, получается, в
Я енді солай, тағдыр солай болды. Қатыса алмай қалдық, травма алып қалдым ол жерде. Но ол жерде қатыссам да мен ол жерде чемпион болар едім. Бір Алла біледі, чемпион болатын ем ол жерде.
I decided the life. I didn't participate on this competition on golden contract, but as for now I'm here and I'm coming to wins. If I would participate there, then there you will see the another champion. It would be me.
We got a prediction from your opponent Tyrone earlier. What sort of fight are you expecting come Saturday night, and what can your fans globally expect?
Какой исход событий ты видишь по исходу этой драки?
Енді бұл жерде Алла қаласа мен өзіміздің қазақстандық национальный командамен жұмыс істедік, қаншама левшалармен. Алла қаласа намысты қолдан бермеймін, жеңеміз, Алла қаласа.
All the time we trade with souls and white power opponents. So I guess with this simple fight, as previous fights also, you may compare them, and it will be the just general also one win.
Well, best of luck to you both come Saturday night. Best of luck and good luck to both of our fighters for the penultimate fight of the night. Any questions coming through? We've got a couple of questions coming through for the boys. Okay, who's the question for?
So with Tyrone McKenna being taller than you and a southpaw, will you find his style difficult, and how highly do you rate him?
Did you get that okay?
Can you repeat, please?
Sure. Can we repeat the question, please?
Tyrone McKenna being taller than him and a southpaw, how will he adapt to his style? Will he find it difficult, and how highly does he rate him?
Thank you. Just a moment. Сенің қарсыласың солақай және де оның бойы ұзын. Қалай ойлайсың, саған қиын болады ма, жоқ па?
Мен айттым ғой жаңа, мен бүткіл қарсыластарым жаңағы біздің Қазақстанның сборной мықты ғой, сол жігіттердің левшаларымен бокстастым әрдайым. Мен дайынмын, маған ешқандай проблема жоқ левшалармен.
As I told before, I trained with the souls and white power boxers. It will not be difficult. It will be just simple win. Yes, I trained with the main boxers of our country. So I guess we have great experience to meet this war.
Any further questions from the floor? Got to have a right reply though. Tyrone, any reply to that one from your Kazakh opponent for the night? We'll leave it at that. Okay, right. All the best, fellas. All the best to both of you on the fight night itself. Let's move on to the big one, shall we? Because there is so much at stake here. The fight that the world has been, well, waiting for, basically, as Jamel Herring defends his WBO super featherweight title against Carl Frampton. It's live, it's here in Dubai. It was back in, December 2019 when the motions were first put in place for this very fight, when they faced off in the ring in Las Vegas. Now, well, we're here, and it's happening here in Dubai. Belfast, Carl Frampton has won world titles at both super bantamweight and featherweight. He now looks to make history by adding another in the super featherweight division. He's been involved in some blockbuster nights during his illustrious careers, earning wins over the likes of Leo Santa Cruz, Nonito Donaire, Scott Quigg, and of course Kiko Martinez, and now turns his attention to Herring. Carl, welcome to Dubai. Absolutely brilliant to have you here. You've been in Dubai for a few weeks now. Has it been beneficial in the lead up to this one?
Yeah, it has. First of all, I'd like to thank Mr. Siddiqui and D4G and also MTK for making this fight happen. It's been a long time coming. It seems like we've been talking about this fight for well over a year now. I feel like it was definitely beneficial for me to get out here early. I had a sparring partner with me. I finished preparation here. And yeah, I think it was beneficial to get used to my surroundings and the heat and everything else. And I've finished off what has been a very, very good camp.
We've heard a lot of good things about said camp that you just mentioned there. How happy are you personally with the way that things have gone and are going in the gym?
I've been very happy, to be honest. I don't really have too many complaints, and people will talk about the hand injury that delayed this fight for a little while, but it was something very, very small. It was no real issue, and I finished off sparring. I took a kind of bit of TLC on my hand for a week or 8 days, and back sparring, hitting the heavy bags. But the camp, apart from that, has been top notch, very good, no complaints. Yeah, I'm just where I need to be right now, and I'm looking forward to the fight.
Let's see what Coach has to say about that. If you could pass the mic over to Jamie. Absolute pleasure to have you with us here, Jamie. Same question to you. How have preparations been ahead of this one?
Exactly how Carl's just said, when you sort of have a vision in your mind where you want him to be, especially for a fight of this magnitude, and knowing what Carl can do and how he can perform, I had a picture in my mind of where I wanted him to be, and he's probably a little bit in front of that, which is obviously a great position to be in. Couldn't have asked for anything to go better, as Carl said, apart from that sort of week or so where we just had to take our foot off the gas a little bit. But that little delay in time is sort of it made everything fall into place a little bit better. And yeah, people say it all the time, that, you know, he couldn't be in a better place. He's put himself in the position to pull off, you know, a historic win and achieve something what no other Irishman in all of Ireland has done. So yeah, he's put himself in the best position to do that.
That's a nice lead into the next question for you, Carl, because I wanted to just get your thoughts on that. I mean, a lot of people, how often have we said history here on this press conference in the build-up to this fight as well? But in the event of a win, you would make history for you and for your country as well. What would that mean to you personally?
Personally, it would mean the world, really, and not just to me, but the people that have helped me on my journey ever since I was a kid. 7 years old. I'm lucky enough. I have my mum and dad here. I have Cooper McClure here, who's my old coach as an amateur. I have loads of people that I have to thank that have helped me in some way, shape, or form along the way. But I'm very, very proud of what I've done in my career so far. But the chance to go down as the only ever 3-weight world champion from the whole island of Ireland, one of the only British fighters to ever do it as well. You join an absolute elite bunch of global fighters to do that, and I want to do that. Like, I'm so determined to make sure that happens on the night, and personally it'll mean the world to me.
Listen, let's focus on Saturday if we can. There have been a few words exchanged between you and Jamel ahead of this fight, and the long build-up to this fight. There's been a long time in the making. Just give us a little insight into the relationship at the moment going into the fight on Saturday night.
I respect Jamel Hurring and I respect his team. I always have. Talking about a few words being said, I don't think I've ever said anything disrespectful to him. I've always just aired my honest opinion. Jamel is a very, very good fighter, and for me to win this fight, I will need to get it perfect on the night. And I feel like the way I've been training and what I've been doing in preparation for this fight, if I carry it on to the night on Saturday, I will win the fight. I feel fully confident. Just a different feeling about this one for me. I just feel like everything's aligning, the stars are coming together, and it's going to happen.
In terms of that, and in terms, again, a lot of chat about Jamel and the size for a super featherweight, etc., the length of the fight, do you feel that you will hold an advantage the longer the fight goes on? Or maybe you could give us a little more insight into what you expect to pan out on Saturday.
Potentially, but I've got to expect the best Jamel Hurring there's ever been. We look at Jamel's last performance. He gets a bit of criticism from that, from the media and from other people. My own performance wasn't brilliant in my last fight. I think both of us need to be a lot better for this fight to come out victorious. I'm prepared to be better. Hopefully Jamel is as well, and it's going to be a good fight. But I think the fact that I've got here with 2 weeks to go from a 4-hour time difference certainly is a benefit to me. And we'll see what happens, but I'm expecting a Jamel Hurring performance like the Roach performance, like the Ito performance. I'm expecting the best of him, and I prepared for that.
Listen, really appreciate you being here on what is going to be a historic night. Come what may for us here in Dubai. Best of luck to you. Jamie, thank you very much indeed as well for your time today. Obviously, we've got questions coming through on Zoom, but we've talked a lot about the man alongside me here. Let's give him the opportunity to chat back. Jamel, welcome to Dubai. Let's talk to you. I mean, the floor is yours. How excited are you to be here for this night?
Just like Carl said, first I want to give thanks to D4G Promotions, MTK Global, Top Rank, my management at B&B Boxing. But it's been really good. It's been really good since I've been here. The people have been very open-hearted. I got to do a little sightseeing. Everyone, for some reason, they keep calling me Obama, but but I guess it's how it goes. But no, overall, I'm just glad to finally be here. We had a few delays, but you know, the time has come, and I'm just happy to be here.
Listen, of course, it goes without saying that you are the defending champion. Won the title with that unanimous decision back in 2019. Successfully defended it as well against Lamont Roche and Jonathan Oquendo as well so far. Again, in the build-up to this fight, a lot of chat about your past and your time in the Marines as well. Do you think that has helped sort of form you as an individual and your approach to the fight game?
I believe everything that I've been through in life that led me to this point has formed me to be who I am today. Especially, of course, you got to look at my military experience, but I just think, even before then, how my upbringing, how I was raised has molded me into the man you see today.
We've got Coach alongside you. We're going to be hearing from him in a moment. But first, you, Jamel, training. How has it gone ahead of the fight?
Training's been well. Just like Jamie Moore said, we had to kind of scale it back ourselves because of the postponements from one time to another. But it was good. If anything, I just formed more chemistry within my team. And we know this is a big fight. We took the whole camp very seriously. We didn't complain when the postponements happened because as everyone knows, in 2020 I had my own postponements. So I'm just glad that he's well and he's here and we can get the people a good fight.
Coach, over to you. Brian McIntyre is, of course, Jamel's coach. Obviously, challenges with a pre-fight camp in different parts of the world. How have things been for you preparation-wise?
Well, so far, things pretty much fell into place for us. With him hurting his hand and, dates getting set back, like Jamel said, just give us more time to gel together as a team. With the coaches, with the nutritionists, time is well spent.
And in terms of the infrastructure here, obviously first time fighting here in Dubai, in the UAE. You heard here from Ahmed alongside me. Have you been happy with proceedings thus far? Is there a future for fighting here?
Oh, I definitely see bigger fights coming here, just the hospitality they showed the team and everybody else that's involved with the card. So I'm going to definitely go back home to America and brag about the treatment that we got.
Great to have you here, Coach. Back to you, Jamel. We heard Carl a few minutes ago say, look, whatever's been said before, it's all about respect at the moment. And he talked about the respect he has for you. Vice versa, do you share those thoughts?
Oh, yeah, of course. I've told people throughout the whole build-up that I'm a fan. I respected what he's done in his career. 2016 Fight of the Year, you got to give, two-divisional world champion. What is it not to like about him? And besides his accolades in the ring, just like myself, he's a father, he's a husband, and we both share, that common mutual respect within them. We just want to do our job, get home to our families, and and hopefully, I've been invited to Belfast many times. Maybe down the road get that pint, but but right now, like I say, it's just business, and I just got to go in there, and just focus on getting the W.
Focus on Saturday for me. Is there a weakness? If there is a weakness, what is that weakness in Carl's fight game? How are you going to win on Saturday night?
I'm not looking for any weaknesses because my coach, Bomac, Red, Isawu, Jamie Belt, we've basically prepared ourselves for the best version of Carl Frampton because we know what's on the line for him. So whenever you put that in your mindset, you got to prepare for the best. You can't look at what a flaw he had in this fight or that fight. No, we don't look for that. If anything, we want to take your strengths away from you as the fight goes on. So that's the way. That's how we look at it. That's how we look at our approach at every fight.
Gentlemen, you've been absolute gents thus far. There are a few questions coming through, courtesy of Zoom from our international press. Over to you, team. Who are the questions for?
Herring. This is from Jim Conlon from RCB Sport Ireland. Is this the toughest fight so far for Herring? He's been waiting a long time for it, and does he think a win over Carl will cement his legacy?
Just like any fight, you can't really say that until, at the end of the night. If anything, this is the biggest fight of my career. Like I said, like I pointed out earlier, with everything that, Carl has done in his career, of course, that's the biggest name on my resume. But we'll just have to wait and see until after the final bell for that answer.
Any further questions?
There's also been a lot of talk around Herring's late arrival in Dubai and how that could be negative for him. Any also suggestions about struggling to potentially make weight? How does he respond to those claims?
No. No. I mean, I have my nutritionist here. I know she's here somewhere. I actually wanted just to like get everything off today, but you know, she has her ways of working, so I just go by what she says. And in terms of getting here, no, not really, because I've been traveling so much in the past. I believe 2 weeks we've been all over everywhere. So like the whole jet lag and everything is not an issue. And you know, when we got here, we started training late in the day anyway, because we know the fight is going to take place really late in the day. So we've been trying to, you know, getting our bodies adjust to that time difference and that time change.
Another question for both Carl and Jamel. Walking into the ring potentially late at 1 a.m., what adjustments have they had to make to get their body clock in tune with the new time zone?
Carl, do you want to pick up on that?
Just staying up later, I suppose, not going to bed too early. I suppose as the fight gets closer, I've been staying up later. I've been moving around, I suppose, in my room a little bit, not training as such, but doing a little bit of shadow boxing at like 1 a.m. That's really it. Look, normally at home, I'm fighting at 11 p.m. anyway, so 2 hours of a time difference. Hopefully I'll have a little nap in the day, and it's not going to be an issue.
Another one for Carl. You've mentioned recently that you'll retire if you lose this Saturday. Does this add additional pressure to what's already going to be a historic fight?
No, it doesn't add any more pressure. I will retire if I lose this fight because I want to be involved in big fights. And after the Warrington defeat, I made a promise to my wife and kids that I believed that I could win a world title again. And I believe that that's what I wanted to do and that's what I could achieve. And the reason I continued on after the Warrington defeat was because I believed I could do it. If I lose to Jamel Herring, I don't want to have to go round the houses to get in a position to fight another champion again and be in this game for 3 years waiting on fights. So, to be honest, I'm just being honest. That's all I'm saying. I can't speak for Jamel here, but I think whoever loses this fight probably retires. You know, we're not the youngest guys in the world anymore. So, it wasn't. A lot has been made out of that statement, but I don't think it was a huge statement to make. It was just me being honest.
Jamel, do you want to pick up on that one?
You know, I mean, like you just like the end. Like I mean, I don't really look at, you know, in terms of like, you know, what happens after the fight, win, lose, or draw. You know, like for me, like I just feel good about everything that's been going on, and you know, I haven't got to that stage, but I will say, you know, with everything that you know, that Carl has done in his career, I think either way, you know, he will still go down as one of the greats, and that's why the reason why I want to get in the ring with him, because of everything he's done. But for me, you know, I just feel like I still have so much to prove before I do walk away from boxing myself. But like I said, we just like, you know, this is my moment. This is a big fight for me, and I'm honored to have it. And I just gotta take it one fight at a time, and then we'll go from there.
Any further questions?
Yeah, we just have one question. I would like to congratulate Mr. Ahmed Siddiqui on making this event happen in Dubai and for it to be part of a new page of boxing for the Middle East. So question to him, is there a long-term plan to produce local and regional fighters, and how long will it be till we see an Arab becoming a major sanctioning body champion? That's from Boxing Arabia.
Thank you very much to Boxing Arabia. Yes, as I mentioned earlier, yes, we are planning to continue growing the sport here and the region. And in terms of talking about the Arab fighters, that's let me be very realistic. That's gonna take time, but it's work in progress. But it's gonna take time. Yes, we are working on it, and we're working with looking for the best talents in the region. All the way from Jordan to the UAE to Saudi Arabia, you know, wherever we could find, you know, the right boxers who are really committed and determined to be part of the sport. So yes, we are working, but of course, it's going to take time on that. It's going to take time, yes.
thumbs up from the team, which means we are done and dusted for now. That is. Do join us on Saturday night. Just remains for me to say a big thank you to all of the organisers, but also a big thank you to each and every one of these gentlemen alongside me. We're going to ask all of the boxers to stick around for photos and official bits and pieces as well straight after this. To the coaches, to the boxers, thank you. And thanks to everyone out there for tuning in as well. Saturday night, the talking's done. Let's fight the fight Saturday night. Until then, goodbye.
You're blocking that.